Thank you for coming. I'm Christoph Thun-Hohenstein here, and I have the wonderful task to briefly introduce Tadashi Kawamata, who will give you a broad idea about his work, not only about the project he has done here at the MAK. So I'm not giving you his CV, because he will show you what was really important in his life as an artist, and I think you will understand his work. Our long-standing Asian curator and head of the Asian collection, Hans Wieninger, had the glorious idea of inviting Tadashi to work with us on the new Asia room here. I was very insistent that this room be brought up on this floor, and I think both ideas worked out extremely well. We are very happy about that. I know that not everybody probably shares this opinion, but for us it's really about transparency, a kind of relaxed feeling you have, but there is no superficiality here. It's not superficial, quite to the contrary. It's also very subtle, but it gives you a relaxed feeling. I hope you can experience it also during daylight. So please, if you haven't seen it, come back to the MAK and experience the new room also when you have sunshine outside and other fog or whatever. It's always a special experience. He's one of the outstanding artists of our time. He's also very courageous in his work, both with regard to the heights of buildings where he puts his tree huts, for instance, and maybe we'll manage to do it in Vienna too, at a specific location, but we can't tell more about that now. But he's also very courageous, for instance, in putting holes into museum walls without the director knowing anything, which is okay, and probably the better way to do it. So if you haven't seen it in our Asia room, please have a look afterwards. I won't say much more, because his work, I think, is in many respects self-explaining. What is important to us here at the MAK, we are a Museum of Applied Arts after all, is that he really reduces the distance between the objects and the viewer. And I think that's very, very important also when it comes to Asian objects, somehow still considered exotic or whatever you call it, especially as Eastern Asia is concerned. And here I think you get a totally different feeling. You are very close to the objects also in terms of feeling. And this is one of the outstanding aspects of your art, that you are very rooted in everyday life, that your work is very accessible to a wide spectrum of people. But you are the much better person to talk about that yourself, of course. So what I can say here also on behalf of Hans Wieninger and the entire museum, we really, really enjoyed this cooperation, and we hope to see you back here in Vienna and at the MAK many times in the coming years. Thanks very much.
My name is Tadashi Kawamata. Nice to meet you. And first of all, of course, I really interesting to this invitation to come to MAK and work. But tonight, I really want to show a totally different work. I mean, like, this is a main work, So it means like this time of the installation, it's very special for me. And yeah, because it was very, special invitation, and then I think, yeah, I thought it's really interesting to discover something for me also, because since before it was, I have no idea what I want to do, and I have no interest about any historical objects at all. So I just do always some kind of action, but here to be the permanent, to be the set up something for the old stuff. So I was really thinking about, and then I becoming very interesting how to present for the audience, people. and what kind of the experience you can get through this object. So this is I was thinking. It was last year. I got invitation, and then almost like 1 year, we just sent back the many drawing and sketches and many architectural, the thing. And but I was digging my reference, for the project. It's getting more quite similar, installation I did already or not, It's very few, but I can show you some of my work. This is just recently, I think just 2 years ago, I just made a kind of like an installation work. One of the art critic, he died, and we got 20,000 book in my institution, because I built up the private institution called Interlocal Art Network, Center for Interlocal Art Network. You can look at Google anyway. This is only for the archive of the mostly the local project, not international, interlocal. It's just many kind of like a project. It happens for everywhere in the world, but it's mostly they don't keep so much of the document. So I really want to collecting all this thing, especially for the Asia, especially for the Europe, especially for the America. There has so many projects going on in the outdoor, even small village, even small like outside, place. And we got the poster, we got the invitation, we got all the catalog. So I really keep it, like this. So that place, actually, this was an abandoned school. I just, renovate and I just make it. So this is I start this. And then this is one of the projects at there, so I can showing. It seems like I really want to make a head of him, all the book. It's a knowledge, of the thing. So I really like the people can go inside of the head, his head. That's kind of the image I just made it. This is just new. I think there still exists the installation. So if you have a chance to come to Japan, but it's not Tokyo. It's very far away. It's totally interlocal area, in the middle of the mountain, middle of nowhere. So I just made it. But anyway, each 2 years we just make an installation. We can make a conference about the archive stuff, many other things. Yeah, this is, I just found a very much long time ago. It was 1984, 5. One of the department store in Japan, they asked me to make an installation. Then I made it only for the furniture, which furniture is already starting to selling, So I just arrangement. So this is totally arrangement. So I just, make it like this. So this is kind of like reference for me to this time of the installation in the MAK. Oh yeah, one more. This is, I was in New York, PS1. I was a residency in the studio. So that time they had a group show. So I just made kind of like a passage in the cellar. And they had many boxes and everything. So I just arrangement. So that's all, So this is, kind of like a pathway, kind of corridor, or people can get some experience, And of course, I just make some drawings, sketches, market, and most of the time I always planning. But the planning is planning. It's not the real thing to happen. I really like to specific. I just working here. I just find another idea. So mostly I work at the site. But of course, I still need some kind of explanation for the people. So I just always make some very rough, sketches or anything. Yeah, this is a little bit difficult. I have to see it like this, But anyway, okay. So this is just the beginning. I think it used to be they had a very dark blue wall. So I just said, okay, just paint white. It's like a gallery, space. Then to start into the shelf, showcase, made by the wood and the glass. So the beginning of time, just like this, just, And this is a unit. So it's, many units have to be changing. So it's going to be, the passage will be changeable so much. Maybe after a couple of years, we'll be changing, other way. Also, the other object will be, set up. I like this, the floor, just a little bit similar to the way. Then, time to time, set up to the object and to fixing something, and the lighting, and also the how to care of the objects. This is very much concerning. It's very delicate stuff. Also, the natural light comes through the window, so we have to be protect some kind of shield. And many small detail, but it was very nice for the curator has a very professional anyway. That will be really great, and I was really enjoyed to the work like this. Even this is it's very much contemporary, the shape. But of course, this is a much older material. So now I can show it was my beginning of the time what I was done, and I had a very lucky, the Japanese artist. I was participated Venice Biennale when I was young, and I was really, powerful. I'm like really like a, how to call, like a punk. I was punk. I had a beard. I had a very not skinhead, but I was really strong punk, and I really, don't like so much museum, gallery, or anything. Just I can do which I want. Then I was in Venice, and but that time of the Venice, 1982, it was a lot of the painting booming, like a wild painting, bad painting. So no any other installation work. So I was really totally disappointed. But only one good thing is I just met Walter P. Hiller in the Swiss Austrian pavilion, because he was there. And only me and Walter was 2 months before we are in the Venice already, because he came to set up some, the piece. So we always same restaurant, because it's only restaurant, existing, open. So we had always meet there, and we just briefly to talk. So this is kind of like, how to call, connection with Austrian, artist. But it was a really, really good experience. I was 20 years old, and I don't know how old he is, but it's anyway, one of the young artists in Japan. Nobody knows, Then I just met him, and it was really, really, I still remember the time, So anyway, time to time, when I come to Vienna, I met him, and we talk, and even he helped me some kind of a catalog, when I had a project here. The 1980, I just started into the project, and I really fed up to the museum installation or gallery installation. I really like to do something more different way. It's more independent way. So it's the place where I can make it, and I can show, and then I can, presenting, and then I can finish. So this is a very site-specific work I just started. Looks like a punk, right? It's a 28, 9 or something like that. So I start to collecting the wood and the fixing there, but the house, the owner asked me to don't break anything. So I said, okay, I don't fix any nail or anything in original building. Just I can fix in the structure to the structure. So people can go inside and outside. It's like I go through the structure, but it's not really fixed at all. Because after 1 month, I just bring down and take back. So it's like renting apartment. And then I can make an exhibition, and I can make a project, and then I can take it down by myself, Yeah, this is all assistant, which come from the Kunst Academy in local area. This is just we finished the demolition and we just take a photo. So it's like 1 month, we just built up and we only 1 week we can open for the public. Even I can still sleep there, I can stay there, and then we can start to take it down. So it was 1983. It's not so much, people know the project, but for me it is very important. It's an important thing. It's kind of like a collaboration work, together with many people. Also, the material come from the very local, or the scrap material we can get it, and then very temporary and very anonymous. I mean, like not really like art, stuff. So I did kind of like activity since 1983, and I'm still continuing just like this. I can show you more to the. And then I just get fellowship to New York. So I just stay in the PS1. And now it's a museum, but it used to be the PS1 studio programs. I was get there, and I stay a couple of years there. This is the backside of the PS1. So it's the same thing. I was collecting all the scrap material to piling and fixing. I spent 1 year just to stay there and working there. So that was really interesting for me, and it was 1985, 4, 5, 6. That's the time I am very much working, outdoor project. And then to time, I get invitation from the city or some other organization, and to make outdoor projects. Because it's this kind of project, they don't need so much budget, because normally the sculpture or some object, they need transport from Japan to Europe, and also the insurance. It costs a lot. But for me, just they send me a ticket. I just go there without any material, without any tools. I just collecting the local, scrap material with many people, and then to the fixing, making, and then after taking down. So this project used to be in between the building. They had a wooden jazz club. They had, two-stage wooden jazz club. It was very popular in Toronto. And then after, demolition, one of the demolition company, they just demolition, but they keep it original wood. So I heard this information, so I can get original wood to make a different construction. Then after 2 months, I order again to demolition for the same demolition company. So I was really interested about this kind of a time, was like, related, It's like, a snake eating on their own tail, So this kind of like, the image of my work, I started to build up in that time. After that, I, traveling, many other cities, many different places. And then I just realized getting more interesting for the historical reference. Like, when you come to the place, but the place is always different. So place has a meaning, place has a material, place has a people, So I really like to the more digging about historical, reference or people to, to residency or, So this is one of the beginners, Beginhof, only for the women who living in all her life, So since 14th century, they just only for the women just play and stay there. And so it was 1989. I was first man since 14th century. I was living in there and I working there. So it was a really interesting, experience for me to stay there, working there. And I get a sponsorship from the wooden company. So I just get, it's kind of like endless, the material I just construct. I was really interesting about, this is Belgium city. The Belgium has knitting, the lace, So it's like wood connected with lace, or like a spider nest, kind of like a thing. So it's a project becoming more bigger, more involving the more other people and the more other historical reference, and it's kind of like people to involving. So its community is very important to the thing for me also. Yeah, this is the document, the first document they can invite me. It was 1987. I found one of the abandoned the church. It was a bombing of the Second World War, and totally empty. But they are still not renovated, just like that. So I just really interesting about digging the history and everything. The castle was totally, I think 90% of the city was bombing, and but it was now is completely covered. But only this place was existing, still like empty. So I just really using for this kind of the way. This is São Paulo. The same year I was participate São Paulo Biennale. So I was there after the documenta. I went to there, and I just found the construction site, which they people are very slow to taking down. So I really interesting. Okay, so this time when the workers taken down each piece by piece, so I just get this material to construct. So it's like a destruction to construction, or it's kind of like a relation. And you cannot see which was my work and which was their work anyway. So it's a more mixture. So this is a very interesting thing. This is only, I think, 2 weeks. We just work together, continue. And then after that, the worker will be demolishing everything, and then to the finish. So I think the time and also the working process, and also the the kind of like reference. This was really interesting, and always a site was working. It's more physical. So this is one of the projects in the Den Haag. You see, the people still living there. This is you cannot see. Anyway, the half of the building was empty, and the half of the living is still living. But this area is already starting to clean up. So they are not against, just they are a bit late, but it seems like will be disappear anyway soon. Now it's one of the art center, Strom, they are built up. So I think the last time I made a documentation of this project, exactly the same place as there in the Strom. And then after I left New York, I really forgot something. I really have to do something, a big project in New York. Then I said, okay, goodbye. So I was a very much a good experience when I was there. Then I really want to make kind of like a memorial project. So one of the freelance curator, she asked me to work to the project. Then I found one of the island. This is East River, and between the Queens, where I was there in the PS1. I always watching to this abandoned building. It was used to be the hospital for smallpox, and totally isolated, totally abandoned. But it's very interesting thing. It's you see the only 50-meter, other side is a huge, high skyscraper building, and one of the most, the luxury, Manhattan. But the other side is totally abandoned. So this contrast is really like in this time of the world, in this time of the New York, it was really appearing like this. And also that time, 1990, it was so many my friend artists died by AIDS. So I have to make kind of like a connection, kind of like a memory, and New York, memory of the friend, a memory of the something. So I just make a kind of like a biological how do you call? It's very much like a virus come out from the building, and some kind of like a shanty house or hut or but it was very, very hard to get the permission. I spent 5 years to get the permission from the city, also the state, and also the fundraising by myself. It was one of the most difficult, the projects I just made it in that time. After that, I really want to be more calm because it's too much public, too much chaotic, too much organizing, you know. So I really want to make it very simple and very subtle. So this is in Zurich, in the Limmat River, one of the museum, Helmhaus, they invite me to make a project. Then I said, I can do inside the museum, but in the outside also I can do. So I was very much interested about, this is a flowering bud. And I really want to copy of this one to here, more structurally and more space. Because it's this is once people jumping on the river, so don't need to cover like this, you know. So it's very, I feel like a very much Protestantism, you know, some kind of like. So I really want to make, looks like a house, looks like a pool, but you cannot see. But you can see some of the space. So it's like a half, covering the building. So this is also I really enjoy, I really like it to the floating structure. I just make it like this. So this was the first project in the Switzerland. Well, more or less first projects, yeah. It was 1992 or something. Then I get more other invitation, more other project, and this is a MAK in the Barcelona. When they built up the first project, first building, made by the Richard Meyer, an American architect, I really don't like so much about the building, and mostly the artists, which first group show they are just organizing. Everybody want to get out, you know? So I just really want to get out. Just a museum here, and they have the fire exit. So I just open and I just make a bridge to see the reality of the people, because this apartment was totally half break down by the here in the museum. And then they just make a very fake wall. So I really want to show the reality. So you can see the art world, and then you can get out to the real world. Just like in between. This is a bridge. This is I really like to the to action, to the presenting this kind of like a way. But mostly the people just come out to smoking cigarette. This was a bit disappointment at that time. Yes, then 1992-3, I'm not really sure, but this was the first invitation in the Vienna, Remise. It was old depot of the tram, and it was empty, so they are inviting the artist to make something. Then I just made the idea, yeah, why not the old tram will be connected and by some kind of passageway. So this is, I just made it, and so that time, Walter, he helped me to make a book. It was a really great, book. He just also he arrangement for some people, and we really like it very much, So I stay in Vienna about 2-3 weeks, and I just construct like this. I have a 5 tram to set up, and in between, people can walk through to there. Did you understand my English? It's okay? Not. You can ask me some question more later, okay? Then, after Les Mises, I get another invitation from the local artist group from the Wiener Neustadt. Actually, yesterday I met them, and yeah, it was really 15 years ago. We didn't contact each other, but we just met yesterday. It was really nice meeting. Because it's a very independent project. This is just a city to pay, or local company to pay. This Hauptplatz, they start to renovation, to digging the gas pipe or water pipe. They want to make it, so it was quite busy for all this area. Then most of the construction site, they need a pathway, like a sidewalk. People can pass through. So I just make okay, I can make a pathway instead of the, some company to make it. But they said, but anyway, truck have to go around there. So at least 5 meter height. So then, okay, I can make a bridge. So that was the bridge. I just made it. Then after that, this is public project. You have to take care of the handicapped people. Then 5 meter, and I have a long slope. It's about, I don't know, maybe 250 meter. It's like 4%, 5% of the slope. So it's all together, it's about 800 meter long, long pathway. This is for the handicap. This is also the handicap, but it will be 3 times go up there. And of course, there has some the stair there. And yeah, this time we got new wood from Eastern Europe because it was cheap before the EU country, connection. So we just got all this wood, and then we can build up, and then to stay a couple of months. Then after that, we just taken down. But after the material, I bought again to the other projects in Holland. So after the Wieninger start material, they just moved to in Holland to use the other project. I can show you that later. So it's always like this, it's more not like ecological or not like that. It's more economical, also the more easy to to using. And it was I don't know, maybe about 20, 25 students of the architecture maybe in Vienna or maybe other place, and some artists, local artists. We are really make a group and working, and it seems very amateur, but I think it was really, safety and walk through anyway, and people really like it because I cannot find any graffiti. Normally, the people just try to graffiti, everywhere, but this time it was no graffiti at all. So this is really good meaning for the thing. Maybe the people in the Wiener Stadt, it was very good, the time. So I met a couple of the assistants there, and the last night, and he really still like a member of the project. It was very much, spontaneously moving because it's always a construction company. They said, no, you don't cover this way because we're going to be digging the hole to changing the pipe. You have to go this way, and this way, and this way, this way. So it's always changing the direction. So that's why it's not like a, image of like this. It was a big job, it was a big work, but I really enjoy to work with many people. And no accident, I must say, no accident at all. No fire, no accident, nobody assistant fall down or anything. This is very interesting, very controlling, of course. And then to time, more to the projects, going on. This is one of the park, but it's always something like an occasion, They had many trees, and they are just very fresh grass. So they don't want to, pass anybody. Of course, they have many trucks already, but people have to walk some other, place. So that's why I just made a pathway, go down to there. It's about 2,000 meters, just a walkway pass to the museum. This is Middelheim in Antwerp. Of course, this is temporary, just about 1 month, 2 months, then take out everything. Sorry. Long. And the in between, we have to be close to the street. We just make a temporary, the bridge. And people just stay there like this. It's always quite rough, construction. This is one of the workshops with architecture school in Versailles, in Paris. This we call it like a kajet. This is a vegetable box, for the supermarket. So we just collect them because this is free. So we just get, I don't know, maybe 5,000 boxes. And then we just starting to make a workshop together with 150 students. Then finally, the rest of the gadget I can make by myself. I really want to show how different between the architectural knowledge to the artistic knowledge to make an installation. So this is my answer to them. Inside, people can go inside. Inside is also all around the gadget around there. This is quite recently, I think 2000 something. And this is the bridge near the Zurich in Swiss. One of the person who asked me to make a kind of like a bridge, close to the river. But the river is not original. It's artificial, like a canal. Not so much up and down to the water. So then I was to make an idea of the what's the name of the animal, like a beaver. Beaver, he tried to make a dam. So it's like a beaver dam, like this. And I always headache about handrail, for the public access. But in fact, here it's a more, doesn't move so much, and the water is very smooth. So we don't really need to the handrailing or guard for the people. So one side is about 1 meter height, but the other side just like just like this. So people can walk to there, and this will be the pontoon. They are metal pontoon. They are set up, and then some metal bar. Then I can fix on by wood. They are also the local students. They are helping for the construction. So it's like a mess, But this is still existing. This is, I don't know when, maybe 5 years ago. He's one of the coordinator in Swiss. He just visiting today, and 5 years ago. What? 2010. Yes. This is Essen, the time of the cultural capital in Europe. So that time they asked me to make some project. Then, the Ugebees is a coal mine, area. And there used to be all this environment was very much oxygen and very heavy, industrial, contamination. So this is one of the contamination place, but it now is a hill. And, but we cannot dig in so much the place because it's going to be the gas will be coming out. So people don't go so much. So that's why they ask me to make something. So I just want to make a kind of a belvedere to go up to see the environment, how changing, the before and now. So the people can go up, go inside. They have some staircase. Just go up to stay, to look at. So that's kind of the project. This will be the stay longer, I think. Of course, each project, they have a very much preparation, 2 years or 3 years, even 3 years. This is almost 3 years, we just spending to talking with the engineer, carpenter, or everything. Then almost like 2 weeks, we just built up like this. We cut the walkway because for the budget. We cannot enough budget to make like this. It's always like this, It's you cannot realize 100% of what you want, I think sometimes you have to be negotiated. Sometimes you have to be reject, some piece. But it's not really, important at all. Yeah, another tower. I think recently I was really fascinating about to build up the tower because tower is very much kind of like a symbolic, also some kind of monument. But nevertheless, people just go to look at all the environmental. It's more like a functional structure. I really like it, and this is, I think, I was very much inspiring from the water tower. I think they have somewhere. They have very much similar shape. So I just get the image, like a copy of this, shape. But it's very much rough, construction. Yes, then it's not a good photo anyway. This is another tower in Tokyo, which I made it. So that time I got earthquake in March 11. That time, when I was working, exactly I was in the inside of the tower. It was shaking. So after that, after 20 minutes, it was appearing. Okay, this tower is very strong, because it's. So, but of course, this is a Sumida River. It was about 2-meter height of the like a small tsunami is coming. But I was there. It was really a big experience. Maybe this is a story I can tell you more later anyway. And now I'm preparing for another project in that place to make an endless, construction. This is already starting to negotiation. This is the inside, So I showed mostly quite a big project and more construction, and sometimes it's be permanent together with many people. But sometimes I was really tiring about the negotiation and talking with many people, more officially, to get a sponsorship. So I was doing very private and very anonymous, also very illegal. It's like a sketch, I call it like a field sketch. Yeah, field work, When I was in New York, 1985-4, it was many homeless people was building the shelter. So I was really fascinated about this kind of like a self-built, construction. So I did it by myself. So this is, I made it, just 5 minutes, and nothing any fixing. After maybe 20 minutes, they will be far done. So only photo I can existing. So this is like a kind of like a sketch, I always make it. Not only for Tokyo, I think I did many other city. But it's totally anonymous. You don't realize, somebody make it, somebody, for the other reason. But I got 2 times in police in Tokyo. So I was criminal anyway, but one time I got police in the Hanover. It was very hard, So this is this is the photo was in Texas. They had a group show in Japanese contemporary art show, but I did it backside of the museum, so just like this. And I don't know how many people to look at, but just I made it. This is in Montreal. I made more than 300, 400. Used to be I didn't take a photo, I just doing, and then to let them, free. But after that, I started to take a photo to document. This was New York. You see, this is a real homeless, area. Homeless people was there, but they don't like it. My work. They said you have to get out. Then I just made just beside, them. This is also that I made it, Even this was I was slept one night, overnight. I was experiencing. I was really interesting. You see, very quickly. This was Hanover, which I got the police. This is near the station. It was only 30 minutes. Police came to out. So it's very thrilling, and also the very, this kind of sketches anyway, I made it. Then after that, I thought about, okay, maybe once this shelter will be hanging on somewhere, it will be more stable. So that's the idea. I just built up the thing. This is the bone in Germany. I just fixing on this metal post. So it's becoming like looks like a tree hut, But it seems like looks like the checking of the people, by the camera, This is another project, yes. It's something like, I was really interested about something like attaching. It's like a parasite, the normal, building. So this is the way I always like this, But this is function anyway. This is people just come out, and the people can stay there. How to call like a bay window, This is just another public project. Then the favela, I just discovered when I was in São Paulo in the Biennale. I stayed 2 months in the São Paulo, Rio, and I visiting many times in the favela. It was very, very fascinating for me. It's not only for the poorness. I think more like a self-built construction, also to living there, to habit, for there. And they had a very, very strong community, And before it was very scary, but once I can go in, people very much friendly, So it was very nice community to protect by themselves, but all the electricity, water, they can steal, from somewhere. So it was really, for me, it's a very, very strong experience, that time. Then I start to like a homeless shelter or kind of like a favela style of the project. So this is not a real favela. I made it, Because this is not a house at all. It's only roof or like a wall, but without any floor or window or anything. Just this is Houston in Texas also. One of the art festivals they invited me, and then I just made. I heard one of the local areas they turned down. Then just to build up the new one. So we take all the material from there to build up the other side of the city. And stay 3 months, and some people living there at that time. So I just continued this kind of the way to the many other places, many other countries. This is again to the documenter in 1992. I just built up we call it like a Schreiber garden, because they had some garden, beside there. Yeah, this is very, very recent. It was last year. I just made a cafe in favela at the time of the art fair in Basel. It was very provocative. Of course, it was an idea, But it's once you can go in, you cannot feel so much like a favela style. It's more like a, handmade chair, benches, table. You can stay there for relax. But it looks like a, kind of like a shanty, village, Anyway, it was very much another provocative, action. I get it, and there's so much problem. But anyway, it was another experience anyway for me. You see, it's not so much a favela style. It's just more like a stay, more quiet, and even this deck chair, also somebody made it, We get all the window, we get all the scrap material from the harbor. Only the floor we just get the new. We will see next this year's art fair in Basel what they are doing in this middle place, because they are still construction. They cannot use so much. Okay, so tree hut I can show you. Yeah, this is also one of the tree huts. It's in also the art fair in Basel. It was 2006 or something. it's middle of the tower, I just fixing like this. So I was really fascinating, becoming like a homeless shelter, becoming like a tree hut, and becoming like something like a different, the way. People cannot go up to there, just like an object, I just attaching to there. This is in New York, in one of the park I just built up. It's about 13, 14 hut all around the tree. I just made it here. This is another, the building, monument building in Paris. It's very spontaneous. Of course, I can plan, but it's mostly the very spontaneous, construction. You see, this one. Yeah, then to one of the workshop, I had to make it at the Pompidou. And then I just really interesting about, if it's possible, I want to attach it to the building. Then to the architect in Pompidou, they try to contact many other things. This is a monument history in Paris, and we just negotiate to the city, and finally, we tried to contact to the Mr. Lento Piano, and then he said, okay. Then this is the first and last artist to make something like this. Because it's, after the project, this architect in the Pompidou, he was fired from the Pompidou. It's because it's so much heavy responsibility. You can imagine like 20,000 people a day, they are visiting the Pompidou. If somebody hitting on the wood, then totally finish. It was very much high security and everything. You can see that technically it's very strong, connection with metal stuff, everything. We had a metal structure, then starting to make a wood. So it's looks like a very fragile, but it's not really fragile at all. It's a very strong fixing. But of course, it was 6 months they keep it. Then one day we just turned down everything. It's about 45-meter height, a big crane. We just to make it, and actually they not make it on the floor, then lift it up, not like that. Just I did with one of the assistants together with the working construction there. Yeah, this is a very, very recent work. It was in Paris, one of the most expensive, most rich area called Place Vendôme, and many boutiques, around there. So this is a part of the project in the FIAC that time. I just make one hut. This is a Napoleon. This guy is a Napoleon, Of course, this is going to be the very monumental history. You cannot touch anything. You cannot scratch even anything, So it's high security. I really make it. But you can see, this is also I made it. And this is also I made it, something like this. I made 4 huts around there with this, kind of the nest. So it's almost like everywhere I can make it anyway. But of course the security thing and the insurance or like many permission, that was really, really hard to get this anyway. All the structure, I just covered the backside. They had many, like a cushion, sponge. Then I can fix like this. After 3 weeks, we just take it down everything. So it's like just temporary, but it's more like a gesture, for something else. It's kind of like you hit the head, you get some, bomb. So just kind of image, This is like somebody come out, you know. And recently, I work with, of course, many people still, but it seems like not finishing. It's like an endless, you know, project. I really like it. You know, like every year I go there, I just continue to work and the same people. So that's kind of like a 2 years, 3 years, this kind of a related project I was working. One of the place in Arkema in Holland. In fact, this wood come from Wiener Stadt. All this wood, we bought it and we just using for this one. Just like a walkway, we just make it. But actually, the order from one of the clinic for the rehabilitation of the drug and the alcoholic people. So before they go back to the society, they need some kind of the physical, you know, the training. So that's kind of the way. So it's like a walking, you know, therapy, kind of like a thing. So I just make a programs, you know, 2 meter wide and as much as long. You can hit by hammer, and you can go there. So I always, every year, I just stay 1 month, work with them. But after that, they can do by themselves. So just one goes through way, and then, you know, one day they send me the fax, you know. We cannot continue anymore because the ground is a limit. Then I said, okay, just turn right, go straight. Then they just made a bridge. They made the bridge, you know, and they just continue, go straight. So finally, we made 3 years, we just continue. Almost a 3 kilometer long pathway, we just made it. Then after that, yeah, you can see. This is, it was the end, something like that. Then the people, they said, we cannot do anymore, continue, because it's ground is finished. But it's already touching to the canal. Then I said, okay, let's make a boat. And the boat can go through the canal. And then we can visiting the Münster for the project. Because Project Münster, they asked me to participate project. So this boat made by this, you know, alcoholic drug, you know, people, they just made it. And we just camping on the other side of the Münster because we cannot stay in the middle of the city because it's easy to get the drug, you know, or some beer. So we just get the tent, we just make a camping. We just make food and stay there. So we just stay 2 weeks to there, to working there and stay there. And then we participate this boat. Then after that, we just bring back again to here. So this kind of a long-term projects, you know, relation, you know, 1 year by 1 year. So this is now I'm still doing. Yeah, you see, this is a boat at the Münster. And this guy is very heavy alcoholic. He cannot do anything. He cannot moving. But he just we just say he can stay there, and we can watching. And this guy was also the drunk, and many kind of like. But it was very very good experience for me. They told me what is meaning about the high quality of the drug. It's not like a money thing. It's more quality of inside. So they know exactly where to get it in Amsterdam. So it was really many information, you know, they get. Sometimes really hard, you know. And this is another walkway. I just made it in France, in Nantes, together with a student. It's about 30, 40 students. They participate. Because the area is very swamp, you know, people cannot go to walk. So one of the village, they asked me, you know, can you make some walkway to cross to the, you know, the river side? Then I said, okay, we can make it. So it's about 1 kilometer long pathway, you know, we can make it all together. And then finally, we just made a small belvedere. So people can watching to the, you know, the bird or some, you know, environmental thing. So it's totally middle of the swamp. They just walk through there. So this is still existing, I think. So it's this kind of like a, connect with the environment, connect with the people, connect with the orderness of the, the people, the village. That was really, interesting for me to make it some idea, Sometimes I, discuss with all the students, what we can do. We can make a new idea, together. Not only my idea, they are also develop, many, many new ideas. Yes, this is totally chaotic tower. It was last year. I just made a workshop. So workshop mean like not me. I made the idea, and then I order to the student to make following my idea. Not like that. I just make a setup to the stage, and then all the students can play by themselves. So I just made a 21-meter height basic structure. Then everybody can participate to make our own, construction. All the material come from the labyrinth, the park. They're always collecting some material, so they can bring every day and then to the construction. So I get so many students. It's about 30, 40 students a day, and then 2-3 times a week we just have the open for the workshop. Since very young children to the very old people, everybody can participate. So it was 4 months was continue to build up, fixing inside, outside. Then finally, the end of the July, we started to demolition together with all the same student. So it's like a build up and then taken down. That's all. And all the material we just bring back to the labyrinth. So this is really like a process. This is really like a workshop style. And this is, for me, it's quite interesting, the way. Of course, the very high place, students cannot make it. But that's why we order to the professional, people to bring up and they're fixing there. So all the, the objects, they just made it, by themselves. So it's more or less like, I really like to the site-specific and work with somebody, and even share the idea, and then process is very much important, and locality also very important too. So this is I'm always working, and I still do something more as a project going on, and so you can see. How different between this time of the installation to my normally, ordinary my work like that. So collaborating material, work in progress, temporality, site-specific interaction. This is more or less like that, I'm a bit afraid about the too quiet. Oh yes, this is maybe this is just the idea. And but will be happen, I hope, later. I asked to the architect in here in the MAK. He said, no problem. No, technically it's no problem. We can do that. So we will see. Maybe after a couple of years, when you still remember, when you pass into the St. Stephan, you can find it. I think this is the end of the slideshow. Not yet. Anybody has a question? Anything is okay. Yeah. Oh, maybe they have some microphone, yeah. Or otherwise.
At the beginning, you were showing, at the very beginning, you were showing very big pieces like this serpent thing going through the inner city of an old town. How long would it take to build up such a structure? Many months, probably?
I think mostly the 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sometimes, I just go there to work in 2 weeks, and then back there, and then to go there. So it's totally dependent on it's outside. At the time of the big one, it's always sometimes rainy. We cannot work. 1 week cannot do that, and then to the back again to the another schedule. So it's more or less like a 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's everything finishing. Yeah. No. I mean, to construction, you mean? No. Most of it 10, 20, or sometimes 10, sometimes 5, 6, people just working there. Because it's very simple work. Just, it was used to be just hammering, and the nail and the scraping. So I don't need any crane or anything. We just by hand, So, but recently I started to screw and some crane fixing. But it's totally physical, totally amateur, construction with a safety belt. So I'm still proud, nobody fall down, nobody accident. This is really, I got a couple of the fire accident, but not me. Somebody set fire, but no assistant fall down. So that was really good for me. Yeah. Is there any question or? Maybe after? Yeah. I just preparing for one of the document video, which I made installation in the Chapel Salpêtrière in Paris. It was 1995 or 6. It was already 15 years ago, 15 more than, So I can presenting. This is a little bit more like inside of the installation, but idea is very much, connect with, other project. But anyway, it was one of the best documentary films, for me, and I really want to presenting. It's okay? So maybe the light off or. You're not tiring, or maybe if you have many other questions, yeah, that's good. It seems very religious, the atmosphere. Okay, we can start. About the 20 minutes anyway.
L'église Saint-Louis de la Salpêtrière est l'unique église parisienne construite sur un plan en forme de croix grecque. C'est-à-dire qu'autour de la coupole centrale, que l'on voit ici, se situaient 4 ailes de grandeur égale dans lesquelles prenaient place les 4 auditoires séparés qui écoutaient la prêche venue de la coupole centrale, c'est-à-dire les hommes, les femmes, les garçons et les filles. 4 auditoires séparés pour une parole unique.
The first time I came to here in the Salpêtrière to look at the space, and so this is the many people to passing by to here. So it seems like the kind of passage I really want to make it. And then the material I was thinking what I can use. Then like I just sitting on like this. Then I just find out, maybe this kind of chair, like with benches, because this is quite normal, the material here in the church, and mostly like a quite, organized, very much, like line. So I just piling systematically, and then to becoming more chaotic. A lot of the chair, I want to use this. So this is just impression, like, first impression. The process of the construction is we just working about 2 weeks completely for every day we just piling put together all the chair. But in fact, the chair is very much interesting for me. So each chair is different character, different history, and it seems like connecting with the people to people by this kind of like a plastic the stuff. But it's quite strongly anyway.
J'aimerais bien qu'il y ait un sens à cette exposition qui est vraiment pas banale, hein, parce que c'est quand même un lieu très sacré. Vous avez quand même pas choisi ça par hasard, ou alors c'est uniquement par la taille.
Bon, au début, ça ne m'a pas plu du tout. C'est-à-dire, j'ai trouvé ça un peu nul. Ça ne plaît pas à tout le monde. Il y a une personne qui m'a dit que c'était horrible et une autre qui m'a dit que c'était magnifique. Des passants qui passaient. Et pour moi, justement, c'est bien. C'est sans sas. C'est aussi notre art à nous. Parce que, par exemple, cette chaise, elle aurait pu être d'un autre côté, mais non, elle a été comme ça. Donc, chacun a mis sa chaise comme il a voulu.
So every day we just working with 6 or 7 assistants. So the very simple work, but it's gonna be many simple work. It's gonna be a lot of work anyway. and then to piling about the 10-meter height, and also we just security for the structure. We just using the benches inside of the chair to connecting to strongly.
J'ai assisté au début de cette exposition qui continue à m'intriguer, mais à force de la voir s'installer, se monter avec beaucoup de travail par tout le monde, j'ai essayé de trouver une explication, j'ai eu beaucoup de mal. Et puis maintenant que vous arrivez presque à la fin, je vois ces chaises qui sont tout à fait en haut de cette belle chapelle. Alors j'essaie de trouver quelque chose d'un peu sacré et d'après moi, tout ça, c'est comme une grande prière qui s'élèverait vers le ciel. Et ça touche le haut de la chapelle. Voilà comment je vois ça.
Ça m'évoque que c'est vraiment un bordel de chaises et que ça sera jamais fini, quoi. Quelque chose d'inachevé. Et si tu peux mettre 10 chaises de plus, 15 chaises de plus par là, 20 chaises par là-bas, donc pour moi c'est jamais fini, quoi.
Qu'est-ce qu'une chaise, surtout une chaise d'église? C'est l'instrument sur lequel on est invité à s'asseoir et à écouter en silence la parole officielle. Et c'est avec ces milliers de chaises que Tadashi Kawamata a construit cette tour qui rappelle étrangement celle de Babel, située sous cette coupole vouée à la parole unique et qui rappelle la diversité et la richesse de chaque personne.
Eh ben, au départ, c'était des chaises. Et puis on s'est rendu compte qu'avec des chaises, on pouvait faire autre chose. Et elles ont une autre utilité et un autre rendu après. Maintenant, c'est une œuvre, c'est autre chose.
Je pensais pas du tout qu'on pouvait faire un truc pareil avec des chaises. C'est bizarre, c'est beau à voir, c'est superbe.
Les chaises sont faites de bois. Le bois, c'est un matériel qui est noble. On a monté des chaises dans une chapelle. Une chapelle, c'est un lieu saint. Et peut-être c'est tout ça qui a fait que voilà, ça m'a transporté, ça m'a enflammé.
C'est comme s'il y avait deux maisons, la chapelle plus le temple.
De toute façon, c'est simple, quand tu vois après les différents éclairages et tout, c'est la folie, quoi. Je sais pas, moi, pour moi c'est beau, quoi. Ce qu'on a fait, on a réussi en fin de compte à bien s'imprégner de l'inspiration du créateur.
C'est bien mis, c'est bien ordonné, c'est beau. Pour des chaises, c'est beau.
The people to passing to the hospital, to the other the buildings. So mostly like a doctor or like some patient people always passing by. So I just thinking this is sort of like a passage I can make especially for connection with the hospital in the church also. And then to the middle of the space here will be sort of like, to people can, sit down to look at. It's kind of like the spiral to the chair to grow up to the sky. It seems like another life, to give to the broken chair. It's kind of like a hospitality to the people, like a hospital.
Je crois que j'ai fini par comprendre. J'ai mis 8 jours, mais c'est pas évident que ce soit l'idée de tout le monde.
Thank you so much. We got some question from the Twitter or Facebook. Yeah.
So thank you very much. Maybe someone here in the hall has a question to Tadashi Kawamata? Yeah.
I've heard that there will be changes in the exhibition after 3 months, different objects coming.
May I answer? Okay, so this installation looks very easy, but of course it's not so easy. So it is built up out of modules. And these modules can be divided and put together in another way. And we have the idea to change in 1.5 years. So the whole installation is planned for about 5 years, and then wood for another object. And in these 5 years, so every 1.5 years, you will have a completely new structure in the room, and we will invite Mr. Kawamata again to rechange his work even too. That's the idea. Yeah, me too. So, okay, somebody else? So I have one question to you. You are very present on the internet, and if you read your biography, you are architect, you are photographer, you are sculptor, you are everything. So what are you?
What a title.
Yeah.
I always said I'm an activist.
Okay.
I just try to be action. I think this is better to the answer anyway.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I also want to mention one thing. We have seen now in the film how the people who worked with you were fascinated of the work.
Yeah.
And you have been here for 2 weeks with interruptions. Mm-hmm. And when you left the first time, the carpenter said, "Who is going?" No. It was really a phenomenon that all the people who worked with you really didn't want to let you go. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. But for me, art is not really special. This is always connects with my lifestyle. And, I'm not really like I'm not really artist, just like this. Not like that. I'm just doing as like a carpenter or like a constructor or like So this is, I think, it's just normal. I mean, like the art is for me just like a kind of like a job, also the kind of like a hobby, kind of like interested. It's not like how to call like. I respect, of course, but I'm not really to be the art people. You see, starting to the projects, it was totally out of the museum, out of the gallery. I just try to be independent, the way to do because this is most interesting for me, also most independent. This is really like I'm still thinking like this, you know. So yeah, of course I can get a museum, I can get a gallery. I'm still doing, but I'm still doing for the outside, you know. So it's like walking on the more to the other side. I'm not the mainstream to walking to the art world. I'm just do as much as the other side. You know?
So I will write to Wikipedia and change your title of architect. Is this okay?
Yes.
Okay, may I suggest? So we have many questions from the internet.
Maybe she has some question, I think. Yeah.
As I'm an architect and I like your works since the 80s, since I studied, so I really appreciate this lecture. And I was wondering now, how can the architect who are responsible for more permanent structures, buildings, and of course it's a different responsibility than for a work of art, how can they learn from the easiness of your work and from the kind of playing with this, not having total control? I think maybe you could give us some advice.
I don't know so much. But in fact, anyway, I have no knowledge about architecture, you know, skill or anything. I never study anything. I just, but of course, I have many friends of the architect. So sometimes architect it's a very much headache for the many obligation, permission or the structural thing. I am much more free, of course, I have to be following to some obligation, but sometimes I really try to be, forgot. Then after that, I try to think about how to manage other way to do, So it's always like, for example, like the handrail. When I make a walkway, they need at least 1 meter height. You need a handrail. So it's 100 is always too boring, So how can we make a new handrail way to do, So this is, I think it's the same as architects, We always try to develop some idea, But I like more to the add, not minus. I always to add something, So it's very much fanatic, to add something more, So it's over obligation. This is another way, I was thinking. I don't know if this answer or not. Yeah. And I never built up my house at all. I made already so many houses, but I never built up, my own space. Yeah, okay.
One of your slides, and especially early work of you, are very visually shocking, and you said toward the visual terrorism, like tree houses. But later work or some other work is more interactive with the people. For example, the Spain, the bridges or pathway toward to the other, that one, and also the one of work, this rehabilitation work is more practicality. You are building up something with the people. So how you balance these 3, 4, or 5 different aspects in your artwork?
I think in the moment I'm not so much visual terroristic image of work, image of the construction I can make it. It was when I was young, of course I was really want to something visually to the construction like that. But one day I felt, this is so easy. I mean, like a visual, terroristic image, it's too visual, So that time I was already more thinking about a more historical reference or like more digging some, some kind of a human anthropologistic way or to habitation or kind of a zoning of the city or, So that's kind of the way it's more interesting than any shocking to the Mikado, So after the Roosevelt project in New York, I realized I just want to make more to the subtle, but still to be something content about the relation between the neighborhood or like local community or like, work together with somebody, So this is, I think, it's more interesting. And I don't know how much appealing for this way. You see this walkway of the Alchema, nobody knows who made it. You know? This is just only for the client. Client mean like addicted people, you know. So you cannot find somebody make it. But just personally, the people who working together, they are very much interesting. They are very much satisfied. But not many people don't know, you know. It's about a 3 kilometer long walkway, just made like somebody made it. It's a very amateuristic way, but nobody knows who made it, you know. Even one of the heavy drunker, you know, just to stop the alcohol, just to try to hitting the nail, you know. But this is, I think, it's really, really interesting for me. I don't need any huge amount of the people to recognize my work. It only, I don't know how many, but I really like only a few people who are very much interested in the way of, thinking, way of doing, you know, for my work. Then I'm really happy, you know. So no longer visual terrorism, you know. Thank you.
You call yourself an activist, you just said.
Kind of.
Activism for what?
Activism I don't know, it's more like a breakthrough, something. I don't know, maybe kind of like, the sense of the material, sense of the time, sense of the way of thinking, you know. So I'm not like a terroristic way, but it's more or less like I really want to make something which I'm very interested in, you know. So sometimes, people find out, sometimes people don't find out, but it's okay for me, you know. I'm not really make a big message to the people, you know. Just you can feel, you know, when you walk through the structure, you know, you can feel something, you know, when you visiting my projects, you know. Even you can start into hammering, you know, together with us. That will be different experience anyway. So best audience is just like work together. And the second audience will be coming together when we are working. And third audience will be just after they can come, like after the opening. So for me, it's before the opening, it's very exciting. So now it's everything finished. So then you can come to here to looking. So this is I'm already out of the, the feeling, you know. I think most of the art is just like this, you know. When they set up, then almost the work is finished, you know. Then you can criticize, you know, and then the artworks will be something else, you know, something different, object. So for me, the process is very important, you know, and I just enjoy myself. That's all. Many questions? Still?
Yeah, we have too many.
Okay.
But let's say I will choose 5 or so.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can go to the gallery and look together and people can ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
What did you do? Mm-hmm. Is that way, okay? I'm selecting 5, okay?
Okay.
Are the origin and the history of the used materials important to you?
Yes, but not always. Yeah. I mean, like I use new wood, I use scrap wood, I use old furniture, I use many different ways. This is totally depend on the site, depend on the project, depend on the condition of the work.
Mm-hmm. A similar question is, can you imagine to use another material than wood for your work?
That's also depend on the project too. You know, I had projects in Korea. I just proposed to make a project using by container because this is a harbor, city. So they had many empty container was piling. So why not? I can use for the container to make arrangement. But not only for wood, I just make many different, But always people can participate.
Yeah. So this is a question, what was your first thought entering the Asian room? So 1 year ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was, you mean to the downstairs? Yeah.
No, here.
Oh, to here?
Yeah, the new one.
Oh,
The new old one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I saw the many collection of the Asian stuff. It was very much fascinating. I was very surprising to the, here they had so much collection. But it's, some pieces never show up. So that was really interesting to me to pick up, to presenting something different way, So this is a first idea, first feeling, yeah.
There's one question. What does museum mean to you?
I don't know. It's just one of the museum, one of the gallery space, or the museum is of course a very establishing institution, but not everything. I mean, I cannot communicate with local people. Of course, local. I'm sorry, this is local people, but museum is just like they have their own function, but this function, not everything. I think I feel many other function from the local area, local habitation, local community. So this is the one of the place, and the gallery is also one of the place, and then to the site as another place. So different occasion, different the people, I think. So I'm not against, or I'm not reject. I just get everything.
Yes, of course. So, and the last question is, which object from the MAK Asia collection did you like most?
I like Buddha,
Yeah, okay.
It was really good. Also, I like very much to make a hole, digging the hole on the wall. And yesterday I had the woman, she told me it was too high, you are too bad, position, you just put in the Buddha. But I think it's not necessary to the high or low. Just I made action to make a hole. This is very important for me.